So how's it going, everybody? Appreciate y'all sticking around for the past two videos on the Jeep Compass. And I guess this is kind of a part 3, but not really. A lot of you in the comments are like, well, just pull the head, put valves in it, or the used car market's so high now, put it back together. And other comments like that. You know, if I was to buy it, you know, I'd probably pull it apart, put new valves in it, new timing chain and everything back in it, and get it back up and running. But I've got too many cars as it is right now. I really don't need another one. So, like I said, he had a budget on this thing. It was going to exceed the budget. By the time I pulled the head, pulled the cams, pulled the valves, ordered new valves for it, go have the head sent off, have it checked out, make sure it's still all right, and the timing chain and everything else, all the gaskets and everything else, he would have been into this for another $1,500 plus easy. If he went to a regular shop, it'd probably be a lot more. But like I said on the first video, but I'll reiterate again, he bought this thing 2.5 years ago on Marketplace. It was supposed to have been a low mileage vehicle at the time. I think roughly it had 130,000 on it, something like that. Which I know a lot of y'all say, well, that's not low mileage, but these days, to find one under 200,000 miles at a decent price is, you know, sometimes a good deal. But when he first got this thing, he drove it around. It seemed to do fine. He was pulling a little mountain here in East Tennessee, Mount Eagle, and it was starting to overheat. And he probably should have just turned around and went back and told the guy to give him his money back. To make a long story short, he brought it over here. I looked at it. It needed a head gasket on it. So I put a head gasket, and I told him while I'm in there, we might as well go ahead and replace A, B, and C, which we did. And he got another 2 years out of it. But in the meantime, he was still sinking money into it. He had to rebuild the front end on it. He had to rebuild the rear end, the rear of the car, new hubs, new brakes, new wheels, or not wheels, but tires. And I mean, this thing's just been kind of a money pit. So he paid roughly about $26,000 for it. He's probably put about another $2,500, $3,000 into a car that's not worth much more than what he paid for it. And I know that, you know, the price of used vehicles right now is up, the availability, you know, in most cases be deal, just keep what I've got, you know, fix it and keep rolling with it, because he's never going to get his money out of it. But at the end of the day, this thing really doesn't get that good of fuel mileage. Anywhere between 17 and 20, and that's it out of this thing. So for him to dump another $1,500 into it, plus or minus, and get maybe another year or so out of it, 2 years, you know, sometimes you got to cut your losses. This thing's been a money pit on him since day one. So let's see, 26, 5, 6, 7. He would have about almost a little over $8,000 roughly. Don't hold me to the math, I'm just spitting it out. Into a car that's only worth $2,500 to $2,000 right now, you know, today. So you just gotta know when to cut your losses. And so he's cutting his losses on this. Yes, the body's in decent shape. Yes, it still needs some work. It needs corner light. It needs a paint job. Front bumper cover, rear bumper cover. But the interior's in good shape. Body panels are in good shape. It's not rusted out. So it would be good for somebody who tinkers on vehicles, you know, maybe goes out and finds him a junkyard motor, or he decides to rebuild it himself, but, you know, for him to drive, not necessarily to flip. Now, if I was to buy this thing, I would probably fix it and flip it. And, you know, tell them the history of the vehicle, what's been done, what hasn't been done, you're buying what you're getting, and send it on its way. But like I said, I've got too many vehicles here now. I've got some other projects getting ready to come up, and I just don't need this tying it up. So anyway, I went ahead and posted it on Marketplace for him. And last night, and I've got somebody that's actually going to be picking this thing up tomorrow morning with a rollback. He buys these things, and the one he just bought has a bad transmission in it. It happens to be a manual. This is a 5-speed manual, so he's basically wanting the transmission and then whatever parts he wants off this thing. But at least it's going somewhere to get recycled and reused, you know, hopefully to get another one up and running and down the road. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you just got to figure how much you want to put into something. Is it worth putting that much into it versus going to get another one, or say finding another used one that needs less work than this does? And that's kind of where we're at with it. So I'm in the middle of cleaning it out for him. I'm getting ready to put the timing cover back on it and put a few bolts in it, get the wheel back on it, because I'm going to set it on the ground. I don't need oil pouring out, and get this thing ready for the guy to pick up in the morning. And but other than that, man, it's just got nowhere to stop. You know, the vehicle keeps hemorrhaging money, you know, versus what you're getting out of it. You know, sometimes you just got to cut the cord and go on with it, take your losses, and find something else, hopefully that's in better shape. You know, that's why it's so important when you go out and look at used vehicles, try to find one that's got a vehicle history on it. Unless you know exactly what's wrong with it and you're willing to take on the responsibility of fixing it. You know, like for me, with all my Gen 3 stuff, you know, 9 times out of 10 I buy them blown up because I get such a good deal on them. And I've got the parts to put them together. So in that aspect, you know, I have an issue with it. But you get some of these people that, you know, don't want to do that. But that's just my take on it, my opinion on it. You know, I do appreciate the comments. Everybody's saying save it or have a part 3. And, but it is what it is. But other than that, I'm going to continue to get this thing cleaned out. Get the wheel back on it, or it can be rolled, and put on a rollback in the morning. And hopefully she will supply parts for another one to keep it running on the road. But other than that, guys, I'm going to get back at it, and I'll see you down the road.